开始吧。
Hi. Today I'm going to be presenting about coins. Coins has a very big history because they replaced the paper money by coins a long time ago, and then they started making these special coins because they decided to celebrate commemorative events. For example, the creation of the Nunavut country. For example, that one there, and then this one is the lucky loonie, because it was because the
What?
So first of all, special coin. I'm going to tell you every like first special coin in every single category in Canada. So for the toonies, it's the 1999 Nunavut toonie. It's the one that I said earlier, and then the second one was the year 2000 knowledge toonie. And then the knowledge toonie has a super rare error. It's called the pedestral D. The pedestral D over here can be worth up to $3,000 because of a tiny spot there, because normally there wouldn't be anything. Now for the loonies, it was the 1992 Confederation 125th anniversary loonie. It was the loonie with two little kids and the dog sitting in front of the London Clock Tower, and then the 1994 National War Memorial loonie, which has 3 soldiers standing in unison on top of a little mountain. And for the quarters, it was the millennial sets, which were the first one of the first special quarters to be released. Now the most expensive coin in Canada, there isn't like super expensive coins, but the most expensive one was the 1936 dot cent coin. It was one of the rarest coins Canada ever produced, and then there was only a few examples known to existence because all of them were destroyed when getting the coins. It is worth about $1 million. So it's the most valuable Canadian coin sold in Canada.
不要去拨它，不要去拨它。
It is as you guys can see, there's a tiny dot over here under the 1936 date, so it makes the coin super rare. And then the reason it's rare is because there were extremely few specimens produced, and then it was also made from the 1936 to the 1937 during the change of monarchs. And then there was, like I said, there were only a few examples because most of them were destroyed. Now for the US coins. The US coins are the most expensive type of. The US coins are the most expensive coins known to existence. For example, the first one, the 1933 Double Eagle, that sold over $18 million at auction during 2021. And then there are multiple other coins here showed on the screen that were sold in the US. So the first one was the 1933 Double Eagle. This one was rare because almost all of the coins were melted, and then only one was allowed to be legally owned privately, and it was the one that was sold at auction. And then it is also rare because it's connected to the 1933, so it was the end of the US gold coin circulation during the Great Depression. And then there's also the legal uniqueness because there was a famous court battle, and the only specimen of the coin that was legally privately owned. Next one, I'll be talking about the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. This coin sold $10 million during the year 2010, and it's rare because it was the first silver dollar ever issued by the United States. And then very few survive today because almost all of them were melted for its silver value. And then the rarest ones these days are the one in excellent condition because it was in 1794. And then it's also rare because of its history, because it represents the beginning of the U.S. national coinage system and the early American system. Next is the 1787 Brasher doubloon. This coin was sold over $9 million during the 20s, and then it's super rare because there was only one known to be existing because the EB is here on the chest of the bird. And then it's also super rare because of the history significance, because it was one of the first American gold coins, and then before the U.S. mint was established. And then there's also the collector demand because it's a legendary rarity that is sought after a lot of collectors because of its unique value, and then also because there's only one known to existence that makes the value of this coin go up to millions. Next is the 1822 half eagle. This one, This coin was also sold during the 2021, and then it's worth over $8 million, and then because it's mostly made out of gold, and then it's called the 1822 half eagle because most of them were melted down just for their gold value, because most of the coin was produced by gold, but now there's only three known examples in the world known to exist today. Now, this is the same thing that happened with the first coin, because there's only one privately owned. The other two are in a Smithsonian institution. Now, only one is left for the collectors to get. Now the 1804 draft bust silver dollar. This coin is rare because it was struck in 1834 as diplomatic presentation pieces, and then there was only 8 known because there are 8 classes, 1 to 8. And then the class 1 specimen is worth a lot, known as the king of the American coins. Now I'm going to go with the Chinese coins. The Chinese coins are just like the Canadian coins, but they have much more, and then the shapes on the coins are super desirable to other collectors. So first is the 1910 long whisker dragon dollar, which was $1 to $2 million USD. This coin is rare because super low of them survived, and then especially in high grades, uncirculated conditions, and also a strong luster. And if you don't know what luster means, it's the shine of the coin. Yeah, it's the shine of the coin. And also the coin is certified by a lot of grading services. And then it's also super expensive because most of the coins you see like this are mostly counterfeits, which is fake coins. Next is the 1903 Thang Ting Tao. This one is also worth $1 to $2 million, and then it's the same thing that happened with the last coin because very few were minted, and then a very few examples survived, and then the same thing, and then it's mostly the same thing because a lot of them got destroyed, and then only few remained with super high grade and well preserved coins. And then because this is also rare because it's one of the first early Chinese Tao issues, which is a type of type of thing to measure for the coin. So so it has a strong collector demand. The next one is the 1907 silver dollar pattern coin. This coin is worth from $600,000 to $1 million because this coin wasn't released to circulation and then can only be store bought or bought by collectors. And then it's also super rare, and just like the other ones because most of them were destroyed. And finally, it's the 1982 gold panda proof coin. This one is worth from $600,000 to $800,000 because it was the first year that the inaugural issue of the Chinese gold panda series, and then also because of its limited production and its super strong lust. And it contains high purity gold, and then high purity gold over here. That's 99.9% gold, and it's super high in collector's value. Thank you for listening.